Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please take your seats for this evening's performance. We'll commence in 3 minutes.
Another opening of another show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and musical theatre lovers. For your delectation, we welcome you to Sunmarke School's performance of Practically, Positively, Perfect! Golly gosh! Right, who is it? Is it you? Is it you? It's you! Right, give it here, give it here. Off to bed with you and no pudding. Please turn off your mobile phones and devices. The light from such things can be very distracting for the performers, and not to mention disrespectful, as they require your undivided attention. Theatre is an illusion, and the illusion is shattered by even the smallest distraction. So please refrain from eating and drinking in the auditorium, and no chitter-chatter either. We'll have none of that Tommy Rod here. Professional photographs and a video recording of the show will be made available to you in due course. So in a world of instant gratification, please employ some patience and be in the moment with us. So sit back, relax, and allow us to immerse you on a journey of awe, amazement, and self-discovery where anything can happen if you let it.
Winds in the east, there's a mist coming in, like something is brewing and about to begin. Can't put me finger on what lies in store, but I feel what's to happen's all happened before. A father, a mother, a daughter, a son, the strings of their lives are all raveling undone. Something is needed to twist them as tight as a string you might use when you're flying a kite. Chim chimney, chim chim, chiree chim charoo.
Come back here, you little blinders. You've got to do your lessons.
I can't do my lessons if I'm flying a kite. And you can't make us. You're only a nanny.
Come along home. Oi, come here.
Come on. Jane! Jane! Do you think she's really leaving? Oh, I don't care. I hate that silly old bat anyway.
Those little monsters have run away from me for the very last time.
Who gets stuck with the children when no nanny in the house? Me? That's who.
I've said my say, Miss Brill, and that's all I've got to say. I'm done with this house forever.
Katie Nana, where you going? Katie Nana? Do you really think I made another blunder? What on earth am I to say to Mr. Banks? George, dear, I'm feeling so bereft, dear. Another nanny's left, dear. Every nanny goes, we're unlucky, I suppose. We are never going to find a perfect nanny.
Nonsense! Precision and order. That's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants are all your domain, whilst I remain the sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Quote, the simple truth is, Winifred, you've engaged 6 nannies in the last 4 months, and they've all been unqualified disasters. A nanny should govern. A nanny should rule. A nanny is a paragon who suffers no fool. A nanny's a stalwart our children would gain by having such a nanny in Cherry Tree Lane.
Of course, George.
So take control of situations. Show your authority when interviewing staff. You know your role, they know their stations. Efficiency and forethought cut the jobs in half. Briefcase.
I thought Katie Nana would be firm with the children. She always looks so cross.
Winifred, never confuse efficiency with a liver complaint. Umbrella?
If only we could find someone like your own nanny.
I'm afraid that's not realistic, my dear. Few women alive could manage Miss Andrews' standards of efficiency. Besides, we could never afford someone of her caliber. Now, Winifred, if you do want to please me...
I know I do, George.
Oh, very well. Then place an advertisement in the Times stating that Jane and Michael Banks require the best possible nanny at the lowest possible wage.
We better give them hours before they make another mistake.
I should state
Father,
that...
What's that you're holding, dear?
we've written our own advertisement.
What on...
Please, George, I think we should hear it.
Wanted a nanny for 2 adorable children.
Adorable? Well, that's debatable, I must say.
If you want this choice position, have a cheery disposition, rosy cheeks, no warts.
That's the part that I put in.
Play games, all sorts. You must be kind, you must be witty, very sweet and fairly pretty.
Well, of all the
George,
ridiculous...
please.
On outings, give us treats.
Sing songs, bring sweets. Never be cross or cruel. Never feed us castor oil or gruel. Blech.
Love us as a son and daughter.
And never smell of barley water. That's the part that I put in too.
If you won't scold and dominate us, we will never give you cause to hate us. We won't hide your spectacles so you can't see.
Put toads in your bed or pepper in your tea.
Hurry, Nanny, Nanny, thanks sincerely, Jane
And Michael Banks.
That's more than enough Tommy Rod for one day. Now, will you please let me get on?
They were only trying to help.
I won't help anyone to make me late. Now, where's my hat?
George, dear,
Hat!
I thought you put it down here.
Hat.
Can't simply disappear.
Do you think they'll find a nanny who doesn't run
There
away?
it is.
He's brushed it with boot polish. Precision and
order,
that's all that I ask. The running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants are all your domain, whilst I remain the sovereign. Mind you use your day well.
You remain the sovereign.
I shall be home at 6 o'clock sharp.
He remains the sovereign.
of Cherry Tree Lane. Yes?
I've come in answer to the advertisement.
Advertisement? We haven't placed any advertisement. Not yet.
You are George and Winifred Banks, are you not?
Mr. and Mrs. Banks live here, yes.
And you are looking for a nanny?
Well,
Very well then. Now, let's see. Plays games, all sorts. Takes us on outings, gives us treats.
Michael, it's our advertisement.
Rosy cheeks and fairly pretty. There's no objection on that score, I hope.
No, none at all.
I'm glad to hear it.
Take it up with Mrs. Banks. She manages all that side of things. Nothing domestic has anything to do with me. And don't forget the references.
I make it a rule never to give references.
But I thought it was usual.
A very old-fashioned idea to my mind. The best people never acquire them now.
I'd see. You have every third Thursday evening off from 5 until 9.
Oh, but the best people give every second Wednesday from 6 till 8, ma'am. And that is what I shall take.
Of course. It's all settled then?
As long as I'm satisfied. I'll see the children now, thank you.
Of course. You find they're very nice children. And this is...
Mary Poppins. Jane, don't stare. And Michael, close your mouth. We are not a codfish. Best foot forward, spit spot.
Mrs. Brill, we have a new nanny. Or I did.
Very tidy, I must say. Tidier than I was expecting. Who's responsible for that?
Mrs.
Me, I am. I like to keep things neat.
Do you indeed? Well, I look forward to making use of that. If there's one thing I appreciate, it's a child whose word I can depend on. Oh, who's she when she's at home?
That's Valentine. She's mine.
From the look on her face, I'm not sure she'd agree with you.
She's just a doll and I don't want to play with her right now.
Treat her like that and she might not want to play with you either. Now, first things first, I always say the proper place to hang a hat is on a hat stand.
That wasn't there before.
We'd better keep an eye on this one. She's tricky. I'll ask her.
No, Michael, I will.
Okay.
Mary Poppins, how could you know what we wanted in a nanny when we made our list?
Your list? I am not an item in a weekly shop. Thank you very much.
How did you come then? It was as if the wind just blew you here.
It did.
Huh?
Now, it's time for me to get the measure of you.
What is she gonna do?
Just as I thought, a noisy, mischievous, troublesome little boy.
Hey, you're making that up. A noisy, mischievous, golly
Now
gosh.
you, thoughtless, short-tempered and untidy.
I don't believe you let me.
By the time the wind has blown, the weather vane around, I'll show you, if I can, no matter what the circumstance, for one thing I'm renowned. My character is spit, spot, spick, and span.
What about your measurement, Mary Poppins?
Well, I'm practically perfect in every way.
Practically perfect.
So people say, each virtue virtually knows no bound. Each trait is great and patently sound. I'm practically perfect from head to toe. If I had a fault, it would never dare to show. I'm so practically perfect in At all times you must remember this.
You're practically perfect in every way.
I guarantee
Practically perfect. We hope you'll stay.
no flies on me. Each virtue virtually knows no bound. Each trait is great
And patently sound.
patently sound. Spit spot. La da da da. Jane, John's house, please. Michael, I'll take my car, thank you.
That's not fair.
I didn't say I was fair. I said I was practically perfect. And here's my aim. By the time I leave here, you both will be the same. You'll be practically perfect.
Practically perfect.
You'll be practically perfect in every way.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. I does what I likes and I likes what I do. Today I'm a screever, and as you can see, a screever's an artist of highest degree. And it's all me own work, from me own memory.
What's going on here? Let's be having you.
Ah, come on, Mr. Parkeeper. It's just me pains like always is. There's no harm in them.
I'll be the judge of that. This is my park and I say you're interfering with public railings. I want them removed this instant.
Just a bit of blue right there. Yeah. Oh, a little mighty green will do. Stay right where you are. I'd know that shadow anywhere. Mary Poppins.
It's nice to see you, Bert.
Well, I must say, you do look swell.
How does he know you? He can't know you. You've only just arrived.
I wasn't born 2 minutes before I entered your house, Michael Banks. Have you met these two, Bert?
Well, I've seen him about, chasing a kite most of the time.
It isn't a real kite.
Mary, tell me, what are you up to?
Mary Poppins says it's a game. It's called a walk in the park.
Some game. I'd rather eat spinach.
Bert, you're due for a break, and you promised me you'd take me out the last time you saw me. Or have you forgotten?
Of course I ain't, Mary, but,
Oh, dear. Is that all you've got? Never mind, then. My treat. And nobody's charging for the trees in the skies, are they?
Mary Poppins, is he really coming with us?
Why shouldn't he?
Well, to start with, he's very dirty, isn't he? Father would never approve.
What's that?
You're too dirty, and we don't want to go to the stinky park anyway.
Oh, yes, you do. Because when you're with Mary Poppins, you go places you never dreamed of. And if she says it's a game, she's got something in mind. You can be certain of that.
That's a picture of the park, isn't it?
Not our park anyway. That tree is a much brighter green, and that sky is a different blue.
Ah, Michael, I think you'll find it's just the way I've drawn it.
father? You're a statue. You can't have a father.
Well, if that's so true, why do I miss him so much?
Isn't he one of the other statues?
No, this far away from here.
Do you really miss him?
Well, wouldn't you miss your father if you hardly ever saw him?
I'll have to think about that.
Oh, Michael.
That's what it was.
What's that?
The prison's empty. A statue's missing.
Do you mean you've lost your marbles?
This is your fault, ain't it?
Me.
I knew we should have trouble when we first arrived, and now we've got a statue missing. What's going on here? Will you play with us again?
Of course I will. But I'm not going anywhere.
Goodbye, Nelius.
We'll see you soon. Nelius must be so lonely. Could his father ever come to stay?
Anything can happen if you let it.
You will stay with us, Mary Poppins, will you?
I'll stay until the wind changes. Now, run along in.
Jane and Michael want to say goodnight.
No, tell them you've given me the message, will you?
George, please.
Oh, Daddy, we've had a fantastic day. We sang with the musket dancing statues and the Queen Victoria. We know you wouldn't have approved, but...
Well, if you knew that, why did you do it?
Daddy, could I have a kite? A real one?
Could you fly it?
You could always teach me.
When would I have the time to do that?
Who is the father of Nelius?
Will you let me get on? Good night.
Poor Michael. All he cares about is flying kites. And his beloved astronomy, of course.
I used to love astronomy when I was a little boy. My nanny, Miss Andrew, soon beat it out of me.
I suppose we do need a nanny, George. Is it out of question to do without one?
Don't be ridiculous. Of course we need a nanny. All the best people have nannies so the wives can do charity work and entertain. Which reminds me, how's your tea party coming along?
I'm not sure. It seems so odd to send out invitations to people I hardly know.
But they're people you should know, darling. Remember, by your friends shall ye be judged.
But that's the point. They're not my friends. Actually, I heard today from Clemmy Bunting. She's rehearsing a new play at the moment. And
How many times must I tell you, I wish you to sever all connection with that part of your life?
George, I was an actress. Lots of people might find that interesting, though you always talk as if I should be ashamed of it.
Well, it's not exactly something to be proud of. Winifred, darling, I'm only thinking of you. I want people to admire you, to respect you.
I know, George, but sometimes it's hard.
It's not hard. It's your job to be Mrs. Banks,
And what is your job?
to pay for everything. Darling, are you going to speak to Mary Poppins about this afternoon?
I don't think so.
Well, very well, but just make sure she's doing things our way and not hers.
Being Mrs. Banks should be an easy role, and yet it's one which I don't seem too good at on the whole. I have a comfy home, I have a simple life, I have a name which tells the world I'm someone else's wife. Being Mrs. Banks, what does that entail? Facing tests of character, I always seem to fail. And as for his best people, well, I'd like to say no thanks. They are not exactly my idea of being Mrs. Banks. It's too early. They'll get stale before the guests arrive. And what about the cake? And you're quite sure you know how to ice it?
Quite sure. And in case you're worried, I have not been saved by the bells for total limp.
No.
No.
Well, I'll just go up and check the drawing room.
I would like to be helpful.
I'd like to be rich, but the ghost knows not otherwise.
Come on.
Mrs. Brill, Mother wants you in the drawing room.
Well, she can't have me. I have enough on my plate as it is now.
She says you can tell Robertson what to do.
Does she indeed? Well, why don't I go have a smoke with the last good measure?
Mrs. Brill, I really don't mind. Please, can I be helpful? Please, come on, come on.
All right. I'll give you one task, and one task only. And so help me, if you get this wrong, I will swing for you and sing as they put the lever.
Well then, what is it?
Put the icing tool next to the cake, and once I'm done, I'll do the icing, and I'll need a bowl of hot water to warm them.
Okay, so we've got the cake, the icing tools. Yeah, okay, well, and also the hot water. I'll do the icing tools when I come back.
Now you think you can manage that?
Is that it?
For you, yes. For me, no. Once I'm done with the cake, I have a sandwich mess, and I can't stop preparing them till there's no time to finish them. I swear, slaving Asian woman on pleasure cruise compared to my life in this house.
Well, don't just stand there, Robertson.
Yeah, right, no, yeah.
What are you looking for?
A bowl for the water. Wait a minute, I'll be back.
Michael, why don't we make the icing?
Because we don't know how.
Don't be so feeble and get the eggs.
Are there eggs in icing?
Well, there are in mine.
I do not think Mrs. Brill will be thanking you very much.
Then she'll be guilty of great ingratitude.
Hey, wait. No, I was trying to help you, if you would.
Is it supposed to look like this?
It does not look like that when Miss Brill does it. Oh God. Oh.
Give that to me.
Mrs. Brill, go up and get ready now. What have you done? Robertson? Oh dear, should I call a doctor?
I don't think that shall be necessary, ma'am.
How can you be so unkind when you know how important my party is? You deserve some very nasty medicine. Just you wait till bedtime.
Why wait till bedtime? Why don't you go up and get changed? The children and I will clear up, won't we?
But I'm not ill. I won't take it. And you can't make me.
In that, as in many other things, your information is faulty. Open.
But it's strawberry ice.
Now you.
I'm not sure I like strawberry ice.
I'm not sure I care.
Lime cordial.
Now, time to clear up. Michael, I know you like to keep things neat. Jane.
What can't Robertson do when he wakes up? He is a servant.
With that attitude, you'll get through a lot of stuff before you're very old. And besides, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap. The job's a game, and every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake. A look, a spree. It's very clear to see that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way. The honeybees that fetch the nectar from the flower to the comb never tire of ever buzzing to and fro, because they take a little nip from every flower that they sip, and hence they find their task is not a grind. For a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way. Is this how you usually do it, Michael?
Mary Poppins, you're a miracle worker. How did you get them to do it?
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
The medicine?
Go down, medicine, go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way.
So,
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way. In a most delightful way. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way. In a most delightful way. We'll be off now, ma'am.
Mrs. Brill? How was everything?
I'm sorry, Mom. These came this morning. The invitations from the guests. None of them could make it.
Do you think we chose the wrong day?
No, Mom. I think we chose the wrong people.
Our next game. A visit to the bank.
That's not a game. Did Daddy agree?
If he did, he must have put the idea into his mind somehow.
Oh, what an impertinent thing to say! Me putting ideas into other people's heads? Really?
Precision and order, cogs in a wheel, opening a ledger, closing the deal, prudent investment, financial sense, a perfect ray of sunshine, pounds, shillings and pence.
Banks, a word. I see Mr. Van Hostler is in again today. Have you made your decision?
I believe so, sir.
Well, very good. Make sure it's the right one. Banks.
Right out, Lone. What possible objections could you have? My financial security is in order, and Latin America is a growing market. What is the matter with you? Have you no courage?
Mr. Von Hustler, what I'm unable to grasp is exactly what is your final product?
Money, of course.
Yes, money. But I wonder, making money out of money, is that enough?
Tell me. Are you man enough to be a banker?
Have you come to a decision yet? There's a town of good people whose future depend on you.
I know that.
Oh, come on. Give us this chance. The factory could be up and running in weeks. Expanding before the year is out. Please, Mr. Banks. You've got to believe me. I'll do everything I've got.
I do believe you, Mr. Northbrook, and I have tried to find a way, but there just is not the collateral.
Collateral? What about my workforce? Decent men who want a better life. They're my collateral.
I'm sorry, Mr. Northbrook, but...
Hello, Daddy!
What on earth are you doing here? Can't you see I'm busy?
No. No man should be too busy for his children. Young man, what have you come for? Have you come with some money as well?
Hardly. What would they need money for?
Well, it's never too early to learn its value.
I know the value of this. 6p.
No. That's its worth. Its value is how you spend it. Do good, and you may have good luck.
And what do we say to Mr. Northbrook?
Thank you.
I'll wait outside.
What is the meaning of this, Mary Poppins? Really, I am not without a sense of humour. But
Aren't you, Daddy?
no, I am not. But when I was a little boy, I would never have dared interrupt my father.
Were you ever a little boy?
Of course I was. But my nanny, Miss Andrew, kept me out of my father's way, and he'd have been very annoyed if she hadn't.
What about your mother?
Shouldn't think I saw either of them more than once a week.
Did they mind?
Mind? They were glad to be rid of me. What's the matter?
Poor Daddy.
Poor? What do you mean, poor? It's what made me the man I am. Hey, Mary Poppins?
I'm afraid it did.
Yeah. Well, that's enough. You've seen where I work. Now I have a great deal to do.
When you invest the bank's money, what do you look for? A good man or a good idea?
Well, I suppose I should say a good idea, but a good man is much rarer and much more valuable.
Well, we'll be off now, sir.
Yes,
Mr. von Hustler,
Yes.
I've considered your arguments, but I'm afraid my answer is no.
No? Oh, so you don't recognise a good idea when you hear one?
Perhaps, but I recognize a good man when I see one.
You will regret this.
Mr. Northbrook,
Yes.
when exactly could the factory open?
Thank you. Thank you, sir. You won't regret this. Thank you.
Feed the birds. Tuppence a bag. Tuppence. Tuppence.
Look, there's that horrible old woman.
Don't point. And for your information, she is not in the least horrible.
But she's just a bundle of rags.
Ah, when will you learn to look past what you see? Early each day to the steps of St. Paul's, the little old bird woman comes in her own special way to the people she calls. Come by my bags full of crumbs. Come feed the little birds, show them you care, and you'll be glad if you do.
tuppence from you.
The birds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Feed the birds, that's what she cries, while overhead her birds fill the skies.
What are you doing?
I'm going to give her my sixpence.
What a waste.
That's a matter of opinion. Save your sixpence. Here, one bag, please. All around the cathedral, the saints and apostles look down as she sells her wares. Although you can't see them, she knows they are smiling each time someone shows that he cares. Though her words are simple and few, listen, listen, she's calling to you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Now come along. I can't stand here all day talking shop.
Talking shop? What a silly old expression.
There's nothing silly about it in the least.
But I've never seen a talking shop.
Well, there is only one, and it belongs to Mrs. Corey.
Who's Mrs. Corey?
Who is Mrs. Corey? Miss Corey is the oldest person in the world. She talked to William before he went conquering, to Vlad before he went impaling, and to Alexander when he weren't so great.
We should call up her shop in the park.
But there is no shop in the park.
Remember, anything can happen if you let it.
That's it. I've run out of conversations.
Good day to you, Mrs. Corey.
Well, 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 if it isn't Mary Poppins with Jane and Michael Banks.
She knows us?
And how is poor little Georgie?
Who?
George Banks, your father.
He used to give his nanny the slip and come to the shop in secret.
But that can't have been the same George Banks. It would be almost 40 years ago. No one can remember that far.
Oh, listen, dearie, I remember everything. I remember Georgie used to love my gingerbread. Now, Mary Poppins, what can I do for you?
Well, I did want an ounce of conversations.
Girls, have we run out of conversations? You see, I've had a lot of chatterboxes with me here today, but let me see what I can find. I do have some letters and a little bit of back chat. An ounce, you say? Now, that'll be 15 letters. Go on, take your pick.
Jane, you can choose 7.
I've got a D, G, R, U, C, L, and I.
Michael, 7 more. And I've got X. Now let's see, what words can we make?
Well, I see dog and
Fruitiplex, that's 9.
Labitiferous, that's 11. Nearly there.
those don't count. You made them up.
And where do you think words came from? Somebody had to make them up.
You know, we could always use the same letters more than once. Now let's see. Super, caliph, radial, istic, expi, alidocious. very much mistaken. I think it's going to prove a rather useful one. When trying to express oneself is frankly quite absurd. To leaf through lengthy lexicons to find the perfect word. A little spontaneity keeps conversation keen. You need to find a way to say precisely what you mean. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Diddle-diddle-diddle, diddle-lie, diddle-diddle-diddle-lie, diddle-diddle-diddle-lie, diddle-diddle-diddle-lie. When Stone Age men were chatting, simply grunting would suffice.
They've learned English where they might have used it once or twice.
Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Add some further flourishes, it's so precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Diddle-diddle-diddle-lie, diddle-diddle-diddle-lie, diddle-diddle-diddle-lie.
The Jewish kid have carved it on their mighty monolith.
I'm sure the Roman Empire only answered the obvious, because those Latin scholars never had a word like this. Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you say it softly, the effect can be hypnosis.
Check your breath before you speak in case it's halitosis.
Yuck! You could always say it backwards, which is Dosis Ali Expiastic Fragile Calirupis. When the cat has got your tongue, there's no need for dismay. Just summon up this word and then you've got a lot to say.
We count those 18 consonants at 16 rows well, and put them in an order which is very hard to spell.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Smart pencils. No, we gonna beat you this time. Winds may blow, but who is to know exactly what is bringing? Good news or bad? Happy or sad? The pendulum keeps swinging. A game is played, A change is made, but still the road is long. And though they might yet fly a kite, sometimes wind's too strong.
George, what's happened? Are you ill?
No. Should I be?
Of course not. Only, why on earth are you home so early? Is everything all right?
No. Everything's wrong.
My dear, what is it?
Well, if you must know, I refused some German chap a loan. It seems he's taken it to our chief rivals. They've gave him the money, and it's turned into a gold mine.
Well, they can't expect you to get it right every time.
Can't they? That's exactly what they expect.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough...
That's more than loud enough. Go upstairs.
But we were just...
I don't care what you were just. Upstairs now. Where's my briefcase? Michael. Jane. Will you give it to me? Must I put up with this behavior? You're their mother. Can't you do something?
I can try not shouting.
Yeah, and Mary Poppins. Why, you're here to teach the children manners. And look at them. A pair of savages. Why, if I had my way, you'd be out of this house.
George! You're tired. Mary Poppins, don't bring the children down tonight. Mr. Banks is quite exhausted. Perhaps you could keep them occupied?
What?
Oh dear, I had forgotten. Suppose the best people wouldn't ask you to change your plans. No, ma'am. I thought not.
It's not fair. Daddy loses his temper and we shut up in the nursery. Daddy's mean and rotten and I hate him.
Jane, take that back this instant. I will not have you criticize your father.
Why not? He criticizes you too. Last week he said you were neither use nor ornament.
How dare you say
I
so?
heard him say it and so did you.
Sometimes people say things they don't mean. Take the children upstairs, please, Mary Poppins. George?
What is it now?
I thought you might like to talk about it.
What would be the point?
Perhaps I could help.
Don't be ridiculous.
George, I'm serious. If you have troubles, I'd like to share them.
Oh, don't worry, you will. The truth is, I've been suspended without salary until they decide what they're going to do with me.
It's not fair. You're going out and we get left on our own.
You've plenty of toys to play with.
I don't want to. They're boring.
They might say the same about you.
Why does Daddy get so cross?
Fathers are supposed to look after their children, not yell at them all the time.
Maybe, but have you ever asked yourself who looks after fathers when things go wrong?
The mothers, I suppose.
Not the children?
Wouldn't that be rather upside down?
Sometimes families are upside down. For a while, anyway.
I don't want to be in an upside down family. I wish I could run away.
Why don't you? Somebody might adopt you.
But you'd miss me.
No, I wouldn't. I could have your toys.
No, you could not.
Yes, I could, and I jolly well would.
Give that to me. Now look what you've done.
That's enough, you two. To bed at once.
But we haven't had our milk.
There'll be no buts and no milk either. If you can't be good, you may as well be sorry.
But I won't go to sleep, and you can't make me.
Oh, Michael. In that, as in many other ways,
your information
is faulty.
where the smoke is all billowed and curled. Tween pavement and stars is the chimney sweeps world. Where there's hardly no day, no hardly no night. There's things half in shadow and halfways in light. On the rooftops of London, cool, what a sight.
Oh, so you're asleep now, are you?
Best view in the world, eh? And who gets to see it? The birds, the stars, and the chimney sweeps. Nothing to beat it, eh? Now as the ladder of life has been strung, you might think it sweeps on the bottommost rung. Though I spends me time in the ashes and smoke, in this whole wide world there's no happier bloke.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiree. A sweep is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. Good luck will rub off when he shakes hands with you.
Or blow me a kiss,
Bet.
and that's lucky too. What's that, Mary? Are you going now?
The wind has changed.
But they're good kids, Mary.
Would I be bothering with them if they weren't? But I can't help them if they won't let me. And there's nobody so hard to teach as the child who knows everything.
So?
So they've got to do the next bit on their own.
Chim
chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiree. When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company. Goodbye, Bert.
Chim, 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 chiree. When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company. Nowhere is there a more happier crew than them's what sings chim, chim, chiree, chim, chiroo. Chim, chimney, chim, chim, chiree, chim,
Cheerio, Bert.
chiroo.
Keep an eye on them for me.
I will do, Mary.
Oh, yes, she can, and she's taken all our toys.
What does the note say?
What in heaven's name are you two doing out of bed? Where's Mary Poppins?
She's gone.
Gone? Well, that doesn't take the blooming biscuit.
Mrs. Brill, what does au revoir mean?
It's French, I know that. I think it means good luck. No, it's till we meet again. Now come along, it's way too late.
Why?
If you knew how hard it was to track her down, thank you ever so much. Have a good day.
Why is it such a secret?
Who are you talking about?
Oh my goodness, she'll be here any moment. George, you're going to be surprised.
Winifred, you know I hate surprises, even at the best of times.
Not this one. Oh dear, I do believe you're going to be proud of me for once. Oh no, hurry up everybody. She'll be here any minute.
Good morning.
Holy terror! Ah! 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 Ah!
Miss Andrew, it's so lovely to meet you at last. I do hope you had a good journey.
It was thoroughly unpleasant. I do not enjoy travel. And you must be poor George's wife. Your flower beds are disgracefully untidy. Take my advice and plant evergreens, or better yet, have nothing there at all. Just a plain cement courtyard.
But dear Miss Andrew, I am so fond of flowers.
Well, you're a very silly woman. And where did George go?
I'm afraid he had an urgent appointment.
For which he was late for, as usual. It's not much of a house, is it?
We like it.
Well, it doesn't take much to keep you happy. Look at the dust. It's filthy.
Well, we are rather short-staffed at the moment.
Has anyone ever cleaned those curtains?
No, excuse.
Then you're the children.
Pity, I don't suppose you know who I am.
Yes, we do. You're the Holy Terror.
Impudent boy! And you're Jane, I suppose. Why is there a ribbon in your hair?
Because I like it.
Ah! What manners! I can see there's not a minute to lose. These children have been spoiled. I've arrived here just in time. By chance, I've brought the punishment that best befits the crime. Brimstone and treacle and cod liver oil, liberal doses of each. These are the treats from which children recoil, the lessons I'm going to teach. Just follow my model and don't mollycoddle, it may lead the irksome to irk. So seek satisfaction from punitive action, brimstone and treacle will work. Open!
Does it taste as bad as it smells?
Worse!
Do I have to?
Open! Brimstone and treacle and carbolic soap, these are the tools of my trade. With spoonfuls of sugar, you don't have a hope of seeing that changes are made. Where manners are chronic, my tincture's the tonic, it's certain to wipe off a smirk. So pour out a ration in matronly fashion, brimstone and treacle will work. Your son will go to boarding school. As for the girl, I shall take care of her myself. I won't stand for whining or whinging or whimpering, crying or lying or sobbing or simpering. I fear it is clear that in these two such bad habits lurk. First threaten to throttle, then uncork the bottle, brimstone and treacle will work. Show me my room. Brimstone and treacle will work.
What do we do? The only thing we can do. Run away.
We got this.
I bet you get all now.
Michael, where are we? I don't know. I can't see anything.
Easy now. Your friend Bert ain't gonna hurt you.
Oh, Bert, it's you. You're filthy.
Oh well, perhaps a smudge or two. Who so I'm a chimney sweep today? Now tell me, who's after you and what is going on?
The nastiest nanny in the world.
Nastiest nanny in the world, eh? Well, you two should know you've been through enough of them. Is she really all that bad?
She looks like something that would eat its young.
Miss Andrew was Daddy's nanny.
Which explains a lot.
Ever since Daddy stopped working, he just sits and mopes. Mary Poppins used to say he needed our help, but now it's too late.
I wouldn't say so. How about we start things off with a little bit of a shake for good luck?
Why would shaking hands with you bring us good luck?
Hasn't anyone ever told you it's good luck to shake a sweep's hand?
But what do you do if you want some luck?
Well, I just shake hands with myself. Now. What have we got here?
Oh, Mary Poppins, I knew you'd come back!
Don't squeeze, I'm not a sardine in a tin. And where are your coats?
We didn't have time to put them on.
And why not, may I ask?
Because we've run away.
Have you indeed?
Oh, Mary Poppins, it's been so awful since you left, and now Miss Andrews come and Daddy's ruined, and we never helped him like you asked us to.
Oh, my eye, but your life's a tragedy. Now let's go home and don't dawdle.
But she came there this morning as a surprise for Daddy.
Did she? Well, maybe I'll be surprised for her. That was a lovely greeting, Bert.
Oh, I meant it, Mary. You're a sight for sore eyes.
You really are, Mary Poppins. Welcome back.
Well, I told you they were good kids, Mary.
And I told you they were worth bothering with.
Aren't you going to shake hands with Bert for some good luck?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't need any luck, thank you. Now, let's go home.
Jane? Michael?
Jane?
Michael!
Michael?
They'll find their way home in no time. Let's face it, ma'am, they've had enough practice.
This time they're not being naughty. I'm afraid I've made them unhappy. I'm afraid I've made everyone unhappy.
Ah, they'll turn up. I've got your address, so don't you worry. I will keep looking.
George, dear, I know it hurts your pride, dear, but you can't just run and hide, dear. Why can't you see that I'm here and I am on your side? Whenever you spoke of Miss Andrew, you showered the woman with praise. But now that I've met dear Miss Andrew, there are one or two things I'd rephrase. To think you were raised by that monster and carry that burden through life. If only you had seen that you could share it with your wife. Being Mrs. Banks. Mrs. Banks, being kissed by you, a man of dreams who made me feel that wishes could come true. And now, although you're lost, it's time that we close the ranks. I'll fight for the man who needs freeing, the real you who no one is seeing. And you find a way of just being Mr. Banks.
Perhaps she's killed everyone. Perhaps they're all dead.
You stupid boy!
Well, really.
And who are you?
I'm Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, but you left without notice.
And I've come back without notice.
And what do you expect me to do?
Pack.
Pack? You insolent young person, how dare you speak to me like that?
Oh, in that, as in many other things, your information is faulty.
Where did she go?
Children, you look positively filthy.
Wherever did you come from?
She came from up.
Michael.
Michael. Jane. Thank heaven. But you're very naughty to go running off like that. And I should be as angry as anything if I weren't so pleased to see you. Where's Miss Andrew?
She's gone.
Gone? Why?
She didn't give reason, ma'am.
How peculiar. So, Mary Poppins, if you're back, are you going to stay?
I'll stay as long as necessary, ma'am.
Because the last time you were here, you left without a word of notice. How do I know you won't do it again?
You don't.
Oh. Constable, I'm so sorry I bothered you, but it's quite all right. They're back and it's...
Not all of them, ma'am.
What?
We found this one, wandering in the park.
George.
Where is she?
Miss Andrew, she left.
Left? But how?
She might have thought we were rude.
Rude? To Miss Andrew? Well, I can't forgive it, but I can try and forget. In fact, I'd given you sixpence if I had...
George, you haven't noticed Mary Poppins is back.
Mary Poppins? Well, I wonder if I might have a word. There's no point in beating around the bush. Things have not gone well since you left us.
About my wages, sir, if you don't mind, I prefer to let them accrue.
Accrue?
Yes.
But, Mary Poppins, if you had any idea how many payments were accruing as it is...
Is everything settled?
Yes. Children, we'll be off now.
Come along, darling.
Wow.
You made a bad decision, but how bad is that? After so many years of good service, what's the worst that can happen?
Winifred, if I am to be dismissed by the bank, we will be destitute. The servants will leave, the house will be repossessed, and we will be outside with the children on the frosty curbside.
We'll still have what really matters. The children and each other.
Is that locket new?
And if it is,
What's inside it?
a portrait.
Whose?
You'll know when the time comes and not before. Now, come along.
Where are we going, Mary Poppins?
Oh, Jane.
Oh, Bert, what are you doing up here?
And where else would a chimney sweep be?
Oh, what do I look like? There, that's better.
The world is awfully big, isn't it?
And what does that tell you?
That we're awfully small and unimportant?
Oh, speak for yourself.
Not us so much, but our troubles. Down in the nursery, they seem so big, but up here...
Oh, that's more I like it. Troubles never seem so big when you look at them from a little higher up. And always remember, there's plenty of folk ready to help, should you need them. "17 Cherry Tree Lane."
Special delivery for George Banks, Esquire.
It's happened. The chairman of the bank wants to see me at close of business tonight.
Tonight? Well, I'm going to come with you and jolly well give your chairman a piece of my mind.
It would only make matters worse. We might as well face it. In just a few hours, I will have joined the ranks of the unemployed.
Oh dear, are you quite sure?
Quite sure. In fact, we better start making some plans.
Daddy, we've come to say goodnight.
Yes. Good night.
Daddy, remember when we came to the bank?
Yes.
Well, we were each given a sixpence and told to spend them carefully.
Excellent advice. That's exactly what you should do. So, what did you buy with them?
Nothing yet, and we've decided to give them to you.
I suppose Mary Poppins has put you up to this.
Oh, no, she hasn't said a word about it, but we know it's been difficult for you lately.
And we thought a little bit of extra cash might loosen things up a little bit.
It is a whole shilling.
Oh. Thank you.
Good night, Daddy. We do love you, you know.
Jane, do you remember once you asked me who the father of Neleus was?
Yes?
Well, it was Poseidon, king of the sea. Well, good night.
Mummy, Daddy's really worried, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But he loves you very much, and that's far more important than jobs or houses or anything else.
Aren't you going to the bank with him?
I wish he'd let me, but he won't. I wish there was someone to speak up for him, to take his part, to show them what he's really like inside.
Why can't he do that for himself?
Because he's a man, and a very proud one.
Then you must go.
I'd like to, but I'm afraid it just isn't possible.
Why not?
Because I'm a woman.
Mary Poppins says anything is possible.
If we can only get out of our own way.
Now, Banks, you turned down a scheme that was bound to make millions. We want to know why.
Why? Well, I'll tell you why I refused Mr. von Hustler. His scheme was hollow. It had no product, no substance, no meaning outside of the walls of a bank. Oh, yes, he spoke of assets and profits and growth, but not a word about people. I know if a man puts any value in real life, then as far as you're concerned, he's considered a washout. But I do value it, sir. In short, George Banks, Esquire, has rediscovered the human race. I apologize for ruining the bank, but I do not apologize for understanding that there are more important things in life than making money.
Ruining the bank? Ruining the bank, my good fellow! What are you talking about? Have you not heard? You've saved our souls. Von Hostler's scheme has ruined our rival. Sir, we've avoided the biggest scandal since records began. I do not accept your apology. Please accept ours.
Oh, my word.
Yes, and one more thing while I'm at it. You remember that fellow Northbrook? Well, the loan you sold him, he started repaying. He's bought 2 new factories, and the percentage that you have negotiated, we are set to make a fortune, sir.
Oh, my word.
Well, that's just it, isn't it? Please tell us your secret. It'll be perfectly safe with us.
The secret? Wow. I'll give you the secret. I'll give you the secret. Supercalifragilistic Expialidocious! Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilistic expialidocious! Oh! Thank you, sir!
Forgive him.
Thanks.
Forgive him. It's not his fault. It's all because of his nanny, Miss Andrew.
Miss Andrew, holy terror! She taught me everything I know!
Well, now's your chance to forget it!
That's right. And if you want to fight about it, then you've come to the right woman.
It's all right, darling. I haven't lost any money. I've made the bank a fortune!
Really?
Yes, now, Banks. By way of recompense, I think we shall make you a manager. And I think double the salary.
Exactly how much has he made you?
Triple the salary. Quadruple the salary.
George, close your mouth. We are not a codfish.
Well, Banks?
Well, I accept, but you must understand one thing. From now on, my family comes first.
Agreed.
Winifred, I've underestimated you. How can you forgive me?
How can you ask?
Why, it was selfish of me to keep you off the stage, and you'll want to go back, and I won't mind if you do.
No, I loved it, but I found a role I rather prefer. It's going to keep me busy for a very long time.
With every job, when it's complete, there is a sense of bittersweet. That moment when you know the task is done. Though in your heart you'd like to stay to help things on the way. You've always known they must do it alone. They're practically perfect. And I hope it remains so.
What's happened? Something's changed.
Look, it's Mary Poppins' locket.
Don't you remember?
Oh, the chain's broken.
I'll stay till the chain breaks.
There's a note too. Michael had the telescope, so this is for you. It's a picture of the three of us.
She signed it. For Mary Poppins with a good deal of love.
Mary Poppins?
She's gone.
Gone? How peculiar.
She'll be back. Now, what do you think of this?
It's the best I've ever seen.
Ah, shall we fly it together?
Oh, Daddy.
Mary Poppins won't be coming back. She's gone forever.
My dear, how could you possibly know such a thing?
Because we don't need her, not anymore, and other families will, won't they?
They will. Sometimes things are difficult, but you can let it.
Doesn't have to be so.
Changes can be made.
You can
Anything can happen. It's a marvel.
Stay larval. Stretch your mind. The fantastic dreams are made of strong elastic.
Take some sound advice and don't forget it.
Anything can happen if you let it.
I wonder. Anything can happen if you let it.
sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down.
Winifred, where are the children? People up there. Ladies and gentlemen, the band.
I'm all shocked, you know. So you can tell by the colour of my hair that I've been to numerous performances like this as head teacher and also obviously as a teacher. But I reckon that's just about as good as I've ever seen. So I think we should give these young people a big, big round of applause. Part of our philosophy is to be a school where amazing things happen, yeah? And I think we've just seen that amazing thing happen on stage. But, you know, we've been sat here for a couple of hours and we've loved every single minute of it. But then we must take into consideration the huge commitment. It's just not about talent, is it? The huge commitment that every single last person on this stage has put in, the hours, the things that didn't quite go right, yeah, and the resilience aspect, something that we talk about all the time. And I'm just so proud to be the principal of a school that can put a performance on like this. So please give them another round of applause. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Do you know we're the only school in Dubai that has an orchestra pit? Seriously. And those of you that came to watch our productions last year, you can remember that the band was over on the left-hand side. But not only have these young people had the opportunity to play with a live band, and believe me, not many people get that opportunity, and particularly at our age, but we have so many fantastic, talented musicians down in this orchestra pit. Please, it's phenomenal. I shall say phenomenal again with my London accent, as we've been listening to Ladies and gentlemen, that was fantastic. Thank you. Now, obviously, there are a lot of people that are not on stage or they're not in the orchestra pit. And I'd just like to say some thank yous. I don't know, we'd have to do some waving, really. But to Murtaza and Marlon, that managed to handle, thanks, guys, who managed to handle the sound. Now, I actually saw a dress rehearsal in here where I couldn't hear a single thing because I sat on the front row. And actually, if you sat around about the 5th row going backwards, you get the best sound, believe it or not. And somehow they've managed to engineer this. So to Marlon and Murtaza, to Miss Fitzpatrick and to Mrs. Hill for dealing with our front of house, for Christina and our marketing team for all the marketing and the promotion, to May, Amy, Erna and Rowena, who went out there. They went out purchasing these fantastic costumes that the young people are wearing and all of the backstage operations. Now, what about our bankers? I don't really think I have to say anything, gentlemen. Absolutely magnificent. Yep, without a shred of a doubt. Please don't leave your day job, though, particularly next week. Yeah. To Sarah, to Dylan at the back. Now, you just think how many light changes that took place here. Absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, we have the lady that stood, right at the end, Mrs. Bishop. So at the moment, we're going to be thanking Mrs. Bishop for costume and props. However, our director would say that she spent many hours sourcing props, overseeing costumes. Yep, she has got shares in Suit.com, believe it or not. She's a constant support, a champion for us all of the other production-based elements. She's given up huge amounts of time to ensure that this particular vision was achieved. So, Mrs. Bishop, I think on behalf of everybody, thank you so much. Did you know that our data manager was a very talented violinist? It's amazing, isn't it? So all day, she gets messages from me to crunch this data, work out these types of statistics. And at night, she is a marvelous musician. This is Anna. Anna, come up on stage, please. Anna, you have to come up. And we have something to keep you company whilst you're crunching all the data. Thank you. The set's made by us as well, and it's also decorated by us and painted by us. So could I ask Derek and Mr. Ravel to come up on stage, please? Very talented gentlemen, these two. Thank you. Hopefully this will be the last thing that you get from a policeman, gentlemen. Could I ask Miss Bamber and Miss Hunt to come on stage? The backstage crew, I mean, seriously, you just cannot underestimate how difficult this is. Stage management. Yeah, that's the guy that wears black, runs on stage all the time. Yeah, you'd never know that also a magnificent and talented science teacher. Sir, thank you very, very much. And then we look at our musicians yet again. Mr. Jomar. Sir? Jovel, sorry. Thank you very much. And we have some absolutely multi-talented musicians. Sir, I think you need to leave that piano and get yourself up here if you don't mind. And then we talk back on stage, Mr. Jomar. Where's Mr. Jomar? Where is he? Is he here? He's up at the box. Well, you're going to have to get out of the box and come down here. Because this gentleman, believe me, has spent hours upon hours making sure that everything has been set up. Come on. Well done, Jamal. Thank you. Miss Bradley, Miss Boyle, and Miss Dean. Choreography. Don't you think that dancing was absolutely fantastic? Now, it was beautifully, beautifully delivered, but the way that everything was sequenced together. So I'm going to embarrass you all now to ask you to come up on stage. Miss Bradley, please. Noreen, thank you. And then not only a fantastic English teacher, I know that there's a lot of parents in here who sees Mr. Banks perform on a slightly different stage. What can we say? Unbelievable patience, talent, commitment, hours of rehearsals, professional to the core. Sometimes when you employ a teacher, you know exactly what you're getting. And actually, when I employed this particular teacher, I knew exactly what I was getting. And part and parcel of that, we've witnessed this evening. I had the great pleasure of working with this particular lady for 3 years when we were in other lives. You know, we worked for a big organisation. The school was on the Shakeside Road. It's quite famous. And then he became quite renowned, actually, for its production. And every single year she seems to surpass herself in totally different ways. And it just comes from a deep vision and a deep passion about, yes, excellence on the stage, but also enabling young people to get this type of experience. So she came to see me with a vision. The vision was a very, very challenging one. To be honest, I had full confidence that she was going to deliver. And those of you that were here earlier in the week and tonight have actually seen that delivery. Absolutely amazing. And yes, anything can happen if you have vision, determination and passion, but also exceptionally high expectations that enable young people and some slightly older people to excel. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Claire Bennett, can you come onto the stage, please?
Oh God, he's so wet, he's sweating. Goodness me. In 16 years, I've never made a speech at the end of a show. It's something about this school that compels me to do so. I'm incredibly proud to work at this school. I feel very privileged to be working at this school. "16 years, oh my gosh, I'm giving away my age. I'd like every single young person and not so young person on this stage and in this pit and in this auditorium to savour and breathe in the power and the pleasure of this moment, of what these young people have created and what these young people have achieved. These kids are absolutely fantastic. And to be honest, we've had a ball. We've had an absolute ball. Okay, maybe there's been some moments here and there. But we've had an absolute ball. This type of experience transcends levels and grades. This type of experience enriches young people. I shouldn't say that it transcends levels and grades, but it really does. Those learning skills are all evident in what they have created on this stage. And I'm so passionate about the arts and about young people having the opportunity for a really robust arts education. It's getting a bit political now, isn't it? But I really am. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so proud of every one of you. The band, to have a total student band, it's so impressive in what you achieved. Really, I'm sorry, I know how complex it was. I know how challenging it was. I'm so proud of you. I actually started to write something down. I feel like I can see the person at the Oscars doing the wind up sign. Wind up, love, it's time to go. The word theatre derives from the Greek, which means the all-seeing place. It's where people come to witness and experience and feel and be inspired and to make your audience feel something, because the atmosphere, the energy in this room is fantastic. And this is what these type of experiences are about. No matter what the ability level is, it's about these experiences that create lifelong memories and lifelong friendships. These kids are a family. They've been walking around school in their blue T-shirts, probably getting told off for not wearing their uniform, and you spot them and they are a family, all ages from year 7 to year 13. And that is the most wonderful thing. And how we make each other feel, there is nothing more important in life than how we make each other feel. Parents, thank you so much for your support. You have been incredible. You've come with us on this tumultuous journey. You've met every one of our demands for Dubai standards in terms of parents and some of their demands as well. You've been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. And those attributes are reflected in your young people, in your children. I hope you're as proud of them as we are. I'm sure you are. I want to say one more thing about the staff. I want to reiterate. We've got people that have collaborated in this show, and believe you, there is a very busy time. There has been a very busy time and something very important for the school that's coming up. We've got members of the science department, the maths department, the modern foreign languages department. I'm going to forget a department, I'm so sorry. The history department. English department, the head of English. Phil Curtis has given up so much time. Not a single lesson was covered. He was doing all of this in his free time, and it is just unbelievable. These staff are incredible, and this is testament to what this school is creating in such a short space of time. I've never worked with a team like them, actually, and I can't thank them enough from the bottom of my heart. These incredible group of people. Can we give these staff another round of applause, please? Because it's never about one person. It's always about the collaboration. Right, that's quite enough from me. These children are going to be going through a mix of emotions over the next few days, so roll with it. I want everyone to sleep over the weekend, please. We're going to enjoy some sleep. Well, some of us maybe not as much of the week that's coming up for us, but please, just be mindful of how they might be feeling emotionally, what they've been involved in. Right, that's quite enough. I keep saying it. That's why I haven't made a speech in 16 years. So, would the band like to play out again? And we will close the curtains. They're going to close slowly. We're not going to be silly. Let's sing another verse. A spoonful of sugar. And can you close the curtains, please, as we do so?
Sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. sugar